Hi guys, hope you're doing all good today. So I do have a battle report for you guys today. I'm going to be in control of my favourite army, the Lizardmen, up against Spartan and his vampire counts. So let's hop in and have a little look at our armies. So normally in this matchup, I'm sure you've seen recently on the channel, I like to bring Lord Kroq. He's super good, the vampires are very slow and they really struggle to avoid his big damage spells. However, I've been doing that quite a lot recently and I wanted to mix things up a little bit, so I've gone for a little bit of a unique army. So in the front line, I have gone for 3 units of Saurus Warriors. These guys are great against Vampire Count infantry. Yes, they'll struggle up against Graveguard, but skeleton zombies, they will tear through them super quickly, super easily. So I'll chevroned up. These are just the normal variety, no need for the shields. Of course, Vampire Counts don't have any ranged troops. In the back, we do have 2 units of Temple Guard, including the Regiment Renowned version, the Star Chamber Guardians, who are one of my favourite units. I love these guys. One, they just look so badass, but 2, they also give off this very good Guardian aura, so 15% physical resistance to all your lords and heroes. So that's a super useful ability, great anti-large. They're going to really help take out, Vargeist, Terrorgeist, help deal with Blood Knights, and so forth. Now in the middle, what we've done a little bit differently this time is we've gone for a bit of a heavy metal dino build. So we do in fact have the Thunderous one, the Regiment Renowned Ancient Stegodon. This guy's an absolute beast. 140 armor, causes terror, armor piercing, armored, absolute tank overall, does a decent amount of damage back as well. Yes, he does cost a lot, but he's so worth it. He also has this very awesome ability, Judgment of Uxmak. That's probably pronounced horribly, but I'm going to stick with it. So Judgment of Uxmak, where random bolts of lightning will come down, striking the enemy, which is very badass and very cool and thematic. So leading our army today, of course, we do have the mighty Kroq-gar up on Grimlock here, the one and only goodest boy. He's very powerful, Kroq-gar overall, and he of course does have Hand of the Gods, which is a huge amount of damage. I've been using this a lot recently, and it causes major magical and fire damage, as it says right there. And the main reason I bought it is in case my opponent did bring a Mortis engine, it can do a huge amount of magic damage to it straight off the bat, and if not, it's still a decent ability to drop on enemy characters. We do have a Bastiladon with a Rev Crystal, always good to bring, in builds where you've got these big heavy entities, where you get so much value out of that healing. Up in the air we do have a Skink Priest of Heavens. Now I don't even know if I've used Heavens before this game, I was really unfamiliar with it, but I have gone for Harmonic Convergence, nice little buff there. Urion's Thunderbolt, which at the time I actually believed was a magic missile, not a bombardment spell, so that just shows how little I use this law of magic. And I also have a Chain Lightning as well. So for my opponent today, he's gone for a front line of zombies. These guys are just here to, absorb the charge, basically, or take any missile damage. They're not going to do too much in return. They're backed up by 2 units of Skeleton Spearmen. They've got anti-large. They do a decent amount of poke. And of course, they'll hold a lot more longer than zombies. And in the back, he does have 4 units of Graveguard with great weapons. So I'm assuming his main plan here, absorb the charge with these front units, then come crashing in with these much more elite troops and do some serious damage. Now, Graveguard, they do very good up against Saurus with their great weapons. I'm not sure how they do against Temple Guard. I think the Temple Guard will win that fight, but these guys are a little bit cheaper, I believe. He also has a Corpse Cart with Unholy Lodestone, so he's going to be healing up everyone around him, doing all those nasty buffs. I really want to take this offline as quick as possible. Now, where all his money's really gone is in the back line here, these 3 units of Blood Knights. Super elite unit, anti-large, they can do a great amount of damage. It looks like Kroq-gar does fire in Hand of the Gods here. It comes swirling in towards my opponent's lord here, which is the Larmian Vampire Lord. And it goes crashing in. It looks like every single missile hits and takes her down almost to half health instantly, just straight off the bat. Huge amounts of damage there. So it's a great early boon for me. And does force out an Invocation of the Heck, which is great. You always want to force out as much Winds of Magic as early as possible. Unfortunately for my little Skink Priest here, he's rather in the danger zone. He obviously cannot stand up to the Larmian Vampire Lord at all. So he's just going to be flying away. And at this point, I decided, okay, he's a little bit compromised. The best thing to do is just to take him out into the middle of nowhere, okay? Drag this Lord away from the main fight. Yes, losing the Skink Priest, over in the distance and not really making the most of his spells is a big loss for me, but it's a much bigger loss, the Vampire Lord, for my opponent, being away from the fight for so long. So we're immediately going to try and take the initiative here and just push forward and use as much as time as possible, that we have this Lord off the field for. opponent is swinging around the left-hand flank with the Blood Knights, it seems. But for the most part, we've got the Temple Guard in the back, so we're just going to be charging into these Saurus. Kroq-gar leading the charge here against these, I would say, brave zombies, but you know, they don't. I don't think they really deal with bravery. They don't really have emotion around things. But as predicted, you know, the Grave Guard are going to counter-charge into everything, and they should do a decent amount of damage, especially against these Saurus warriors. So all across the front line we have engaged. The Thunderous One's just charging there, pushing his way through, and just being an absolute nuisance. Now, of course, we do spy that I'm holding low, so Kroq-gar really want to get off the field as much as possible. So Kroq-gar just moves his weight, pop all his buffs down, and rams through all of these Grave Guard, and pop on top of this Kroq-gar. It looks like the Thunderous One has decided to join him. The two bros together here are going to absolutely tear this Kroq-gar apart. It's at zero chance of escaping. And that's the great thing about units like Kroq-gar and Thunderous One. You can just push through infantry. Yes, you can have anti-large infantry, but you know, they don't have to stay there and fight. They can push their way through. Great rear charge here by my opponent, comes charging down the hill on top of these Temple Guard who weren't braced, you know, they're mid-combat. Okay, doing some great value there. Sorry for the little pop in there. But looks like on this side, the Star Chamber Guardians did manage to stand their ground a little bit better, and they did some decent damage against these Blood Knights. Kind of getting a little bit stuck here and trying to pull their way through the unit. And they're getting dragged down. So that's a bit better for me. The opponent's doing a great job here of just hammering into the back of all these Saurus warriors along the front line. It looks like he's managed to break this centre pocket, leaving this red crystal very isolated. Over here, he's really done a massive hurt onto these Saurus warriors. However, the Thunderous One, if the guy's buff popped down as well, but from the red crystal, he's going to be able to tank this a lot better. Even your anti-large troops will struggle to take him down quickly. That's how much of a beast he is. It looks like a combination of Kroq-gar and Star Chamber Guardians has managed to deal with these Blood Knights over here. The Kroq-gar's just moving along the line and popping another hand of the gods coming down there. It's not quite a perfect hit this time, but still a very big one, doing a huge amount of damage, and this Vampire Lord is already in massive trouble. Looks like she might be deciding to drop down into the big Mosh pit, which I wouldn't personally advise. You know, these are some very dangerous combatants here. But it looks like he's going to commit, dropping feeble and slow down on Kroq-gar, trying to snipe him out with a combination of Blood Knight and the Lord herself. But Kroq-gar, he's going to pop down his own buff there, the 22% physical distance, and he is just stomping all over this Vampire. She stands zero chance here. Actually managing to take him out. The Blood Knights, you know, they're getting some really decent attacks in and starting to do some decent damage. Looks like we have managed to pull over the Star Chamber Guardians just to try and intercept the Blood Knights as much as possible. And it looks like we have managed to win the left flank for the most part. These Grave Guard are slowly getting dragged down by Temple Guard, and it's all dissolved into the right hand flank. Down goes the Vampire Lord. That power advantage does jump a little bit into my favour. It's pulled down there by the mighty Thunderous One here. These little skinks, I'm sure they were the ones who really took her out over there with my javelin throwing. Looks like we have finally realised that our skink priest did rally on the edge of the battlefield there. He's just going to be flying back, and I've got tons of Winds of Magic obviously at this stage, so I'll be able to drop down some nice bombardments. It looks like that's what we're going to be doing with Orion's Thunderbolt. Now I haven't actually used the spell before, or seen it too much. It does a decent amount of damage there. Against Grave Guard who are fairly elite. It looks like it got 9 kills, so nothing spectacular, but nothing too bad there at all. It looks like we are going to be dropping a Chain Lightning down as well, which is obviously a much more powerful spell, but a lot more expensive. It got decent contact. It looks like it might wrap around and do a bit of damage to these skeleton warriors. So over in this isolated pocket, of course, the Temple Guard are dragging down the Grave Guard, and it looks like army losses are going to probably set in any second now, as there's nothing here which can really bring down the Thunderous One and Kroq-gar. They've both taken a bit of damage, but with the constant healing from the Red Crystal, they're just so durable. It looks like we've managed to crumple all over the Vampire counts there. So very, very well played to my opponent there. Let's go to the end stats and, you know, do a little rundown. So a nice Pyrrhic victory. So very well played to Spot on there. Super tough matchup. So well played for, you know, sticking to the Vampire counts there. I think is one of the, not the hardest matchup at the moment, but it's up there for a really tough matchup with the Vampires. Especially when, you know, come up against just so many large units there. So going for a bit of a different build from my standard build here. Normally it was really Temple Guard heavy with a few big dinosaurs and Kroq. But I'm just loving Kroq-gar at the moment. That Hand of the Gods just almost single-handedly took out the Vampire Lord. And he just does a huge amount of damage. He's so hard to pin down. 93 kills on him. 177 on the Thunderous One. The random kind of lightning strikes that come down around him do mass damage against chaff. So it's just super good for wiping out a ton of people as quickly as possible. The Saurus, performed very well as for their cost. 138, 68, 107. A lot of those kills were up against zombies, but there's also skeleton warriors, and they did get in there and do a decent job against the Graveguard. Great play by my opponent with these Blood Knights. I really like the way he managed to whip them round the back there and just hammer, and they didn't stick anywhere too long. One unit did get compromised a little bit by Kroq-gar and the Star Chamber Guardians. The other two managed to break the centre mass of Saurus Warriors and almost break the right flank. If it wasn't for the Thunderous one being such a tank, he really could have crushed my battle line there. So overall, very fun battle. Really enjoying, doing a slightly different build here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please, consider leaving a like down below. It does really help out the channel. Also, feel free to subscribe. When we're recording this, we are on 49 subscribers. We're one off the 50 mark, which is actually really exciting. So yeah, feel free to subscribe if you want the more content. I do have a Patreon down below in the description if you want to support the channel. All money that goes into there comes straight back out into the channel, in terms of DLC and so forth, so I give you guys more content. So coming up soon, a week today actually, so next Wednesday, we do have our second Death Before Dishonor tournament. Looks like with all our players set, so I'll be revealing who they are shortly, and it's going to be live streamed, so hopefully I'll see you guys there 8 PM Wednesday the 10th. Peace, guys, stay awesome.